There's simply a variety of choice at Chicken Valley, 318 Lincoln Road, and we don't just mean whether you dine in or order for takeaway or delivery. With halal dishes including peri-peri chicken, wings, strips and wraps, Korean burgers, sides, milkshakes and so much more. You'll have to experience Chicken Valley again and again and again. Open 11 a.m. until late, every day of the week. Order delivery via Just Eat, Uber or Food Hub, or for collection call Chicken Valley on 01733 564 053.
You're listening to Peterborough's community radio, Salam Radio. Salam Radio. 106.2 FM.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of SCP Weekly. My name's Zaid and I'm your host today in the absence of Jamal and a couple of others. And I'm joined by the one and only Zami.
Assalamu alaikum.
Also Arqam.
Assalamu alaikum.
It's been a while, guys. I think it's probably been...
For me, it's been about 6 weeks.
About 2 months since you've both joined us in the studio. So take away, tell us where you've been, what you've been up to.
Zami, you want to go first, shall I?
Yes, so I've not been away. I've just thought I'd enjoy it as a listener. It's been good to hear you, Zaid, on the radio for the last couple of weeks, Jamal as well. It's been different, but I think I planned it to come back on today to be with Jamal to do a end of season review, but he's ditched us.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Arqam?
If Jamal, you're listening,
Go on.
I'm going to remember this.
I've just been at home revising for my A-levels, that's it.
Have you had all of your A-level exams?
No, my first one is in 2 weeks, pretty much.
So with the amount of revision you've been doing, we're expecting... what are they still A stars and stuff, or have the grades changed to the number format?
I don't know, man.
That's not a good start, is it?
I don't know what he's been doing for the last couple of weeks. He keeps talking about revision, etc. I always see him out and about. But me and Walid had a serious conversation with Arqam, and we said, you know what, you're never going to make it as a footballer, so please focus on your studies and get a good job.
Yeah, facts. I back that.
A bit harsh, Sammy, but yeah. But anyway, guys, if you're listening in, please do engage with the show. We're obviously live on Facebook, so drop any comments and we'll be happy to share those. Please call in on 01733 602 133 or text us on 074 1119 1062. So, as Jamal would say, let's get into it. Where are we starting off today, guys?
Should we start off with the first team, Monday's game?
Yeah, just before that, actually, I just remembered today's actually the London Marathon. We've actually got one of our committee members, Ash, who's actually running it. So I'm not actually sure if he's actually finished by now.
What time did it start?
I think, yeah.
We'd hope
it doesn't matter, man. Big up Ash, man.
Yeah.
Running the London Marathon.
Ash smashed it, and I know he's been training hard for the past couple of months. Looking forward to... hear his time and hear about his experience. We can probably get him on the show actually to talk about it as well.
Another one of the FCP OGs.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, if Ash is listening or any of his friends, please do let us know if he's finished and what his time was.
While we're talking running, can I plug FCP Park Run Club?
Yeah, of course.
So for any players, parents out there, even the community listening, every Saturday morning, 9 o'clock, Ferry Meadows, a timed 5K. We've got a couple of the under-14s join in, a couple of coaches, but we want to open it out to everyone at FCP. At the moment, I think fastest time out of everyone, I think, is you, Zaid.
Oh.
Can you remember what your time was?
No, I'm not too sure, to be honest.
No, I remember it was something like 23. It isn't like the 23s or 22s, something like that.
23 is a bit slow.
So if any of the other first team players want to beat that, come down Saturday.
Yeah,
Nah,
I mean,
but
if
don't you
you're
remember-
opening up to the first team, then, you know, you've got some crazy runners in there.
Who do you think would win?
You got Mickey, who's up there.
Mm.
Liam Hatfield is up there. I think recently he done like a 10K, or like a couple of weeks ago or whatever. His time was like 40 something.
That's impressive.
That's like
That's
crazy.
mental.
Over a 10K. That's rapid. But I mean, I did see the picture you shared of the park run. I think we had about 8 people yesterday, I think.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
quite a good turnout, and I
So-
think one of the kids might have beaten your times.
I mean, I don't know about that, man. Come on, man. Put some
I
respect
mean,
on Zad's name.
the last time somebody said he's going to beat my time, I don't really know what happened to him. I think he hurt himself, or
Oh, yeah, that was back, what, Christmas Day, innit? I didn't stretch.
he
That's
didn't
the
he didn't-
importance
he
of
didn't
stretching.
stretch for his 5K.
Just like his footballing career, he talks a lot.
Yeah, man.
But then
I
when it
don't
comes
ca-
to it,
I
he's
don't
got
care. I
excuses.
talk all the talk.
No, but I think, yeah, in terms of running, across SCP, I think there's so many really good runners across the first team and reserves. Definitely, you've got Liam Oliver Smith in the reserves who does some good times. Anyone from development a avid runner? Outcome?
I don't think so. Not that we know of, anyways, isn't it? But
Just yourself then.
I'm just here and there.
Because there was once upon a time where you and Coach Walid would be doing your post-Fajr runs. So can you tell us about?
Yeah,
about
that was
those?
when Walid was training for his half marathon. But that just like it just got to a point where it was like the timings weren't really making up, and he got quite busy with uni as well, innit? So we stopped with that. But don't worry, soon we'll do it again soon.
Just to sort of bring some background for why we're doing the running. So FCP a couple of weeks ago got selected as a flagship club for the FA's Greater Game campaign. So it's a campaign that they're going to be running over the next couple of years, where they encourage players between the ages of 12 to 16 to focus on 4 key elements. So move well, think well, sleep well, and eat well. So what we've started to do for the Move Well campaign is just to get the kids out, be mobile, burning some calories, because we know what their diets are like. And then over the next couple of months, what we'll be doing is additional workshops, education for the kids and parents on things that they can do to become a little bit healthier.
You mentioned being a flagship club. Could you, maybe for whoever's listening, could you let them know maybe what a flagship club is?
If you listened to the show last week, we did touch quite a lot on this.
I told you I was at home revising. I'm locked out.
But no,
of
I think
society.
we went through a little bit of it last week's show, and I think we're one of, there's around 40,000 grassroots clubs nationally, and yeah, we're one of like I think
30.
30.
One of 30 clubs.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that's that's an amazing achievement in itself, to be honest. And I think a lot of it is down to obviously the work you put in behind the scenes. I mean, getting that all kind of organised. So well done to you on that.
If the first team are listening, I've got a couple of ideas that I'm going to get you involved with the academy. So I was thinking
The first team
what-
is listening because
What kind of ideas have
Captain's
you
there.
got? Far away.
So eat well. So what I'm thinking is because the first team players are role models. So if they can share things that they eat post meals during the week, it would be good to share with the kids.
Yeah.
Ayman, tuna milkshakes. I'm not sure we'll put that on the list, but for the ones for the first team players, it'd be good to get your tips, what you eat, which we can share with the kids.
Yeah. So you mentioned a little bit earlier about diets, and the comment you made was what they're like. Or what is your kind of view of generally how diets are for some of the children that we have in the academy, and what could they do to kind of improve it? Or what are the types of foods they should be should be eating?
So if I talk from my under 14s, I know they primarily like their fried chicken. Their diets, I think what we find is a lot of the time is early morning kickoffs. They've not had breakfast, so they're missing one of the most important parts of the meal. I think because they're not really in control of their diets, it's driven by what their parents are providing. I think we need to do a lot of education on some healthier alternatives. I know everyone likes the fast food. Waleed always comment on where I take my under 14s after they've won a game. Fried chicken.
So and where do you take them?
There's a few places on Lincoln Road which they love. But I think if we can just start educating them on some subtle alternatives. So, for example, how many options of protein could they have during the week? So, and carbs, veg, things like that. To think actually, how should I balance, also structure my week of, that run up to game day, what should I be eating the day before, a couple of days before, after match, what should I be fueling my body with? So I think there's a couple of things over the next couple of weeks we're going to educate the kids on, and hopefully start getting them thinking as well, if I want to be a good footballer, what sort of choices should I make during the week?
Yeah, I think Coach Ibby did share some, like a pre-match smoothie or something or another, like probably about a good 6 months ago, and I know that took off quite well in the academy, and he had a lot of parents saying that, usually the child doesn't really have breakfast or he struggles to have breakfast, but he was actually really excited about having like a smoothie instead. So yeah, I think definitely we could get him to push those out, and yeah.
As a current first team player, what's the one food advice you'd give to the academy players listening? Actually, let's put it in there. Favourite post-match meal?
Post-match meal? I think, with the first team, obviously, because we have to, or even with the reserves, you've got the hospitality that we have to provide the opposition. So for context, being a part of the league that our reserve team and our first team are on, one of the requirements is that we provide like matchday hospitality to the opposition after the game. So you've obviously got Christine, part of that community mosaic, who does the food for us. And to be fair, I think a lot of people who do visit us, they always commenting on how good our hospitality is. So I think it is something that obviously the club kind of works hard to get right. But the types of food she does, probably a mix of fried chicken, chips.
Are you forgetting Ralph's Matchday Burger?
Yeah,
I like that burger.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I think they do, like, she mixes up on a week-to-week basis. I don't think it's anything kind of overly healthy. But really, after like a game or after any kind of form of physical activity, I think it's important to obviously get like some protein in, whether that's through like a protein recovery shake, and then get carbs in, because you lose a lot of energy, or you use a lot of energy during the matches and so on. So carbs is obviously helps you kind of regain that energy. So those are the two main kind of sources of food.
Cam, for when you do play a match, what's your post-match food choice?
I'll be honest with you, I don't think I even eat post-match. I'll go straight to work after post-match.
So academy players, please don't listen to our Cam. You gotta eat.
I know you should eat, but I don't have time to. I just go home, shower, and straight to work.
But when you've only come on for the last 2 minutes, probably built up an appetite.
I think the higher up the kind of football chain you go, when you get into like professional sports and so on, and if you have a look at any like professional clubs, the way they're focused on the food and the diets is obviously on another level. But because we're grassroots, sometimes players or the kids at the academy, they might overlook it, or they might think it's not cool or not that important. But actually, when you look at a professional club, the food, the diets, whatever, that's like one of the main things. And every player will probably have their own kind of own diet, strict diet, depending on what they need, whether they need to gain a bit of muscle and so on. It would vary, and they'd have their personal chefs and whatnot. So I think that's kind of super important.
You know, for yourself, side, obviously over the years, how has your diet itself changed, or what changes have you made to maybe improve what you eat and stuff like that? Because yeah, you might obviously wouldn't have used to talk about yourself obviously when you're younger.
Yeah.
You don't focus on it as much.
So I think like once you kind of decide you want to take football like a little bit seriously and so on, or you know, if you look at like let's say gym for example, and you want to take it a bit seriously, you realize that a good diet is probably, so if you just let's just take a look at gym for example. Yeah, you know, you can work out the hardest, do the best workouts, lift the best weights, but you know, if you're not eating properly, then you won't really see the gains or a difference depending on what your goal is. You know, you got to get your kind of calories in. If you are bulking, you got to get the right amount of protein, the right amount of carbs, and so on. And then vice versa. You know, if your goal is to kind of cut, then you got to maybe cut down on the carbs. You know, make sure you're still getting the protein and so on. So, I think diet is a big part of it. Probably well above 50% of training or whatever. So yeah.
I mean, talking about diet, Ishi just put a message in saying Jamal Abid has a very good diet plan. I mean, if you like Ishi, could you drop a comment and tell us maybe where it is so we can have a little insight? Maybe we can take notes from Jamal.
Soon to be coach Jamal.
I think from what I remember, I think Ishi and Jamal have actually got a competition going on. I'm not sure if it's still ongoing, but I think it's been a while. Probably, maybe I'm tempted to say before Ramadan it was, where I think I'm not sure what the end goal was, whether it's Ishi, just drop us a comment, let us know what your competition was about, because I do remember Jamal telling me about it. I just can't remember exactly what the goal was. And then let us know if the competition's still ongoing, or you guys have kind of packed it up, and who won.
And Coach Bash, if you can clarify your comment in the Green Army WhatsApp group, I've seen a few extra chicken legs to improve first team diet. Is he saying they need to eat a bit more chicken?
No idea. Yeah, Bash,
Coach
I mean,
Bash.
if you can provide a bit more context. Oh, so Ishi's commented, so, okay, quite simple. Who loses the most weight in 6 weeks?
Fair enough.
And I think, was it before or at the start of Ramadan when you started it, or was it after Ramadan? Because, I mean, that 6 week period is probably coming to an end, so it'd be good to get a bit of an update, or if there is an end date. Oh.
Wow. Jamal didn't lose anything.
Jamal didn't lose anything.
Well done, Ishi.
So Ishi smashed it. So is there a forfeit involved? Does Jamal have to treat you to anything? Or? But yeah, maybe this is something, you know, we can start...
We can implement it in the first team. Actually, but then again, you can't really do that.
I was going to ask, now that the season's over, are there any sort of things the gaffer's asked you guys to work on before proper pre-season starts?
No, so I think our pre-season probably starts around 6 weeks' time.
That's a long break.
So I think around 5 to 6 weeks. I think, you know, because the season's been quite long, we started on like last year on the 27th of July was our first game. So I think everyone's just looking forward to a bit of a break, just chill out a bit. And then, when pre-season does start, I'm sure there'll be a lot of, requirements that come from the coaching team.
Have you done the sort of last training session? Here's what everyone weighs, here's their stats to then monitor what the next 6 weeks are. Have people been eating too many ice creams and desserts over the break, come back unfit?
So I think we obviously have the trackers that we use for the games. So I think the coaching team do have a good grasp of, you know, the type of distances that everyone's kind of covering. They have a good understanding of the fitness levels. So when we do come back, I think it'd be very easy for them to kind of see, you know, who's kind of kept a level of fitness and who hasn't and so on. But to be honest with you, I think a lot of the players, they will maintain like a good level of fitness. And when pre-season does come around, it's just about getting match sharp, essentially.
Issue, another comment. Jamal hasn't stuck to his forfeit, and they finished just before Ramadan.
So Jamal, if you're listening, I think you owe Issue a forfeit, and it's obviously on camera, on live now. So there isn't any getting away from it.
Just getting back to pre-season, the Green Army want to know, have any friendlies been booked in yet?
I don't think so, but I'm sure. Yeah. No, I mean, last year was very good in terms of the way it was kind of structured, and I'm sure this year will be the same as well. So, yeah. I mean, I think with the Green Army, they sound very keen, but I think it's well known across the club. They did go missing for a good chunk of the season.
Wow.
Ooh, Zami, you got anything to say about that?
Let's have a heart to heart aside. I don't think the Green Army went missing.
They definitely did.
We were there. There's a few games we missed.
A few, it's more than a few, but it's very well known. But look, last season's done. Let's just draw a line over
Rush
it.
into the coffee, yeah?
Look, when you're not playing, Zaid, they don't turn up.
Oh no, they should turn up. But yeah, I mean, so last season, the season's pretty much done for the first team, the reserves, the development. So we can just touch on that briefly. We obviously had a game last Monday, on bank holiday Monday.
What was the score? There's a bit of confusion over the final score.
Yeah, I think the final score was 8-0. I think Jamal put out a post saying 9. But yeah, it was actually 8. So it's a good way to end the season on a high. And, hopefully we can kind of continue that momentum.
Wow.
Zami is the biggest first team hater at times. Zami, what you got to say? I mean, I don't think Zami's that bad. If you listen on the sideline sometimes.
Look, I just have, what's the word? Feedback. When things aren't going well, I'll have a little moan to say, why is that player doing
What Zami
doing?
doesn't understand is
why they're not shooting.
These type of things, he thinks they can happen with the click of a finger. That even if you were to say or you were to notice something that's wrong, it could take half a season maybe.
I know, but as a fan, when you're on the sidelines, you'll have moments
That's
where you're
that's the
wondering,
problem with being
was he
a
not
fake
shot?
fan.
Yeah, no,
Why has he done
I
that?
think fans are entitled to their opinion, of course. Just like when you watch it in a professional game, you'll always make comments about whoever's playing and so on. But yeah, so the first team finished their final game 8-0 against Swaffham. That was on Bank Holiday Monday, so the season's done. I think in the end we finished on 70 points, which is a good improvement, and 6th place and 70 points. By contrast, last season I think we finished 11th and 12th, so it's a good improvement. We're just 2 points off the playoffs. Obviously, we're very disappointed to miss out on the playoffs. The semi-finals did take place yesterday, so you had...
Did Dis lose?
Dis did lose
they
2-0
lost it.
to Stanway.
Yeah.
So Stanway are in the playoff final.
Who were they
and
playing?
then they're playing Harwich, who won 2-0 against Framlingham.
Come on, Harwich.
So I think it's next Saturday, you got the playoff finals. So one of Stanway or Harwich will be going up to step 5. So yeah, that was the first team. For the reserves, their final game was on Tuesday. Do any of you guys know what the score was?
It was 3-2 against Malton Harrow, one of the Maltons.
Yeah, Malton Harrow, it's 3-2. So again, a good way to end the season on a high. I think a 6th place finish for the reserves as well. So that's the first team and reserves finishing 6th. I think with the reserves they had an amazing
The
start.
start of the season was really good.
Yeah, but then obviously as the teams kind of chopped and changed, as it kind of does in a reserve setup, they might have lost a bit of momentum in the season, but still nonetheless like a very good kind of finish. Been a lot of fantastic moments during the season for them as well. And then the development, I think they finished a good few weeks ago.
We finished about 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
So quite a long break.
Mm.
And I think Zami, you wanted to touch a bit on the academy. So
Yeah, just before the academy, the under-18s got a home game this Thursday against Harborough Town Juniors in the Jamin Shield. So for the Green Army listening, 7:45 Thursday at the Millfield Auto Parts Stadium. Yes, so the academy, I think the academy for most age groups has now come to an end. Just wanted to mention a few sort of highlights. Yesterday we had one of our under-8s playing for Peterborough, I believe, against West Brom. So the great work Raf has done with his under-8s to get a player selected to represent Peterborough. Amazing. We've had a player from the under-7s start the season. Poached is not the word I'm going to use. Was
But he
rightfully
wants to use
picked
it.
by Peterborough. So we've had a player has gone off to do some amazing things with Peterborough. We've got a couple of players that are now representing Cambridge and Norwich. So there's a lot of great work being done in the academy. We are still on the lookout for coaches. We've got Coach Jamal in the works, so hopefully soon he'll be done in his coaching top and coaching the future youth of Peterborough.
He's going to be coaching his Hale End.
He's going to be
but
coaching
hopefully
what?
his Hale End, but hopefully they'll do better than they did in Volta.
Firing some shots.
Obviously, Zami, if you were there, you'd know, but
No what, sorry.
need I say any more?
I'm getting picked on today. What's going on? Bring back
You're
Jamal.
getting
Bring-
picked on.
Bring back Jamal.
Hang on a minute, yo. Sorry, I say one thing to this guy, he's getting picked on, and you forget every single thing he says
I'm
to me
senior, I'm
every
allowed
single
to.
week.
We've also had a new coach join recently, right?
Yes, Coach Faizan has joined in the last couple of weeks.
Again, that was through the Volta program, which we had set up obviously during Ramadan.
Yeah.
And obviously, touching on Volta, people want it back, Zaid, man, but
We can come to that, but I just want to touch on Coach Fazan. So how did he kind of get in touch, Zami, and...
So I think through the Voltrade scene, what we do is previously played for FC Peterborough, and then at the last home game against Whittlesea, he came up to me and said, how can I be a coach?
Yeah.
Can I be a coach?
When you say he played for FC Peterborough last, do you know what team? And
Yeah,
kind of
he
what
was
sort of age
last
group?
at the under-18s, and then I'm not sure why he didn't carry on playing, but we'll find out. over the
with
next
him,
couple of
again,
weeks.
I don't know if he wasn't part of Safi's league-winning team, but when Safi and Kami, I think it was, all I remember, he's the same age. Used to be in Adil's age group, which
Yeah.
Safi used to coach, and I don't know when he left.
Yeah,
But,
so I think that's what I wanted to kind of just touch on. So I think Fazan's been a player who's played and trained with the academy throughout the years at a youth from a youth age, so like under 11s, under 12s, and so on. And I think that's what the club is about, right? So you've got a player who's been through the academy, kind of been coached by our coaches, training on a weekly basis. And then I think he went off and done a refereeing course, so
Yep.
he's a qualified referee, and he's refereed a lot of grassroots kind of youth games and junior games, which is amazing. And now he's coming back to join as a coach. So I think that's the beauty of like FC Peterborough, and these are the types of people we kind of pride ourselves on, and they're definitely role models for our players in the academy to look up to now. You give them an opportunity and kind of almost create a pathway for them to get almost like a career in kind of
Yeah, so not
football.
only giving them that opportunity to play football, but also to give back to the community, be it as a referee.
Sorry, we're just about to jump into a break, and we will join you guys after.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
Craving top quality fried and grilled chicken without the high price tag? At Sam's, we make every bite unforgettable. From juicy chicken to mouth-watering burgers, taste why we're the best in town. Visit us at our brand new restaurant at 33 Westgate in the city centre or our second spot on Lincoln Road. Prefer delivery? We're on Just Eat, Uber Eats and Deliveroo. Sam's, serving up amazing chicken across the UK for over 30 years.
Turkish Restaurant Peterborough. The name says it all. It's the restaurant in Peterborough that serves amazingly mouth-watering halal Turkish cuisine, including delicious kuneva and baklava desserts. At 1253 Borges Boulevard, Turkish Restaurant Peterborough's the place to dine with family and friends or order for collection to enjoy at home. Call 01733 307076 or view online at turkishrestaurantpeterborough.com.
Fancy the true taste of Middle Eastern Kurdish food? Asia Restaurant gives you the unique fusion of flavours from Turkey, Iraq, Syria and Iran. Eat in at 5 Fitzwilliam Street, Peterborough, PE1 2RU. Or order through Just Eat, Uber Eats or order through our website, asiarestaurant.co.uk. Call us on 01733 562 530. Asia Restaurant, the true taste of the Middle East.
Award-winning ST Complete Care provide all kinds of regular and respite care for your loved ones. Rated good by the CQC and with outstanding reviews, ST Complete Care will tailor their services for children and adults, including helping with personal and home care, medication assistance, visits and appointments too. With bilingual carers, ST Complete Care are also experienced with disabilities, dementia, autism, Alzheimer's and more. To arrange your free assessment, call 01733 303300. Caring for you the way you want.
It's healthy, nutritional and halal. It's The Lads, your first choice for burgers, pittas, wraps and flame grilled lamb chops and peri-peri chicken. Now with 5 fantastic new flavours, plus sides, grilled salads and milkshakes too. Open daily from 11:30 until 11 p.m. Call in at 15 Cowgate in Peterborough. Order for collection online at thelads.co.uk or by calling Peterborough 562287 or place your Lads delivery order at ubereats.co.uk.
Busy Bunnies Nurseries is where children grow and thrive. It's where your little ones will enjoy expert care, engaging activities and a warm, welcoming environment. Busy Bunnies Nurseries also provide great learning experiences in exceptional indoor and outdoor settings. So when looking for a loving, fun and safe place for your child, visit at 627 Lincoln Road, Peterborough, now with additional parking, or online at busybunniesnurseries.co.uk. Call 01733 897799 to book your visit today. Busy Bunnies Nurseries, where children hop into a brighter future.
Mirage Wedding and Catering Services have everything to make your special day, party or celebration one to remember for all the right reasons. As well as quality catering, freshly made with seasonal produce, Mirage supply stages, lighting and house lights, decor and marquees, Chivari chairs and table hire, attentive staff, supercars and so much more. Call 07860 125 092 or visit MirageWeddingsUK.com. Also across all social media. Mirage, making every wedding better.
You're listening to Peterborough's community radio, Salam Radio. Salam Radio. 106.2 FM.
You're listening to FC Peterborough Weekly. I'm your host Zayed, joined by Coach Zami and Coach Arkam. If you're listening in, please do comment on Facebook, call in on 01733 602 133 or text 07411 191062. So,
Coach Bash has clarified his first team have had an exceptional year, just missing out playoffs by whisker, probably the fittest team in the league. Once in a while can't beat a post-match chicken feast to celebrate one of many victories this season.
So his comment about being one of the fittest teams in the league, do you guys agree?
I want to say yes, because I think when we play football, the majority of the team, the opposition, have just got one game plan, and it is to hoof it forward. And we don't do that. They're pressing from our boys, especially the likes of Aimer and yourself side. I think fitness-wise, I think we are there at the top of the charts.
That's interesting. And talking about fitness, we've got a comment from the Vice Chairman Sadat, who has said he's lost a few pounds.
So if anyone finds them in the back of their car, back of the sofa, please let Sadat know. Sadat is still my favourite coach, the title-winning coach Sadat.
Yeah.
The under-15s.
So we done a segment on this last week as well.
I think.
But
where was that last week?
You were just chilling in it. See me, I'm actually being productive. He's chilling.
I think I was watching Leeds win the championship.
Who?
Get promoted.
Who asked?
I just thought I'd put it out there. I'm just disappointed it's taken 32 minutes for me to be able to mention Leeds.
I mean, that's probably all you're going to be talking about, because I don't think they're going to be there next season.
I feel
So
sorry for
enjoy
you
it.
lot over the next 12 months.
Why?
Leeds.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. When you don't support a Premier League team, it don't matter.
This isn't the show for that, is it? This
is FC Peterborough Weekly.
Yeah.
And strictly FC Peterborough. None of this Premier League rubbish. This guy's testing me now.
I agree, but I think we can just take a slight tangent.
Deviate from that.
Did anyone watch the boxing yesterday?
Ben got cheated out.
This guy, man, just don't listen to this guy.
Who do you think won, Zaid?
The right person won.
Maybe,
So you got Eubank,
maybe I made a mistake by bringing this up, but Eubank definitely won.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Do you think that he won by 4 rounds?
I'm not sure.
Listen,
to be
that's
honest,
a conversation
but
for
I think,
outside the show.
Yeah, I think.
Thinking about it.
I was just gonna say the point I was gonna make was you know what, that fight was like one of the best.
It was a quality fight.
I've seen.
Since the season, are we going to do Sports Weekly as the football's come to an end?
No, because I think there will be a lot of
listen,
things to
Zami,
discuss.
man, just trust the process, man. There's plenty of stuff going on.
Yeah, so one
man.
of the things that Arkan mentioned was Volta. So I think we spoke about it last week, how we were waiting for like someone to sort this document out with the rules and the format of the league.
No, don't let Zaid do the rules. I've heard he changes them.
You know what, Zaid?
It's not actually me.
Zaid, listen, how about this? You're so upset about the rules. First of all, you're never there. Second of all, you wouldn't play. And third of all,
I told you Saturday nights.
If you don't mind, if you don't like the rules and you don't like the way it is done, you're more than welcome to set up yourself.
No, I'm just.
So
I'm
there you go.
commenting
So
the
you're saying
feedback.
no. So you're not allowed to argue.
Every Saturday night, people were tweeting, posting messages saying these boys keep changing the rules. Halfway through, I've lost a player. This player's in a transfer.
You know what, Zami? If you weren't there to see it, how can you comment on it?
I talk to people.
But anyway, look, I think in Ramadan, the point of it was like a charity was one of the main kind of reasons behind it. The rules and so on were a little bit relaxed. It's more about bringing everyone together, keeping everyone fit. In line with the greater game kind of initiative. Because obviously during Ramadan, a lot of people just stop
everything.
Stop everything. But with the league, it's not actually myself who's doing the rules and so on. Someone else. Last week I said I'm not going to mention any names, and this week I'm not going to mention any names as well. But I think this person does need to get a bit of a move on.
I think you should just give them some time because they might possibly be busy with certain more important things going on at the moment.
Look, Volta's been finished for
since Eid.
3-4 weeks.
Yeah, so I think that's
is it going to carry on indoors?
More
or
than enough time.
Is that a surprise?
Does that mean you're playing?
If it's not a Saturday night, I'll be available.
What do you get up to on your
Saturday what's so
night?
special about Saturday night for you?
My nephew comes over for a sleepover.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, you can bring him over.
Are you back to wrestling tomorrow?
Yeah, so I think, again, another tangent. You obviously had Fatua Wrestling, who've had a break during April as you had the Gladstone Community Centre being renovated. They are running the sessions again from tomorrow onwards. So, yeah, hopefully I will be there.
Was I a wrestler?
No, not for myself, but...
The little ones.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense now. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, look, wrestling is amazing for Thua. The coaches and the way it's run is amazing. So, if anyone is interested in wrestling, then do get in touch with Zaid. They've got, I think, sessions running three times a week. So, yeah, I mean, I've got nothing but good things to say about it. And I think, especially for some of the young age groups, I think it is very good in terms of the movements that they do. They work on a lot of like coordination, and that will definitely benefit them on a football pitch. And just as sports people, it's always the ones who do multi-sports that actually excel the furthest. So it's definitely worth kind of looking into. We've obviously got a couple of players within the academy who do wrestle to like a high standard as well, and they're one of the best players or the best players in the teams and so on. So I think it definitely is beneficial.
I think it's another great thing about us in the community. We've got the football, you've got the opportunity to do the wrestling as well. So for the academy players out there, I'd definitely recommend it, especially in the pre-season, being able to pick up other skills. So it works on your coordination, your stability, key things that you will need when you're out there on the football pitch.
Yeah. Arkham, would you ever try a bit of wrestling?
I wouldn't mind it, but it just depends. Obviously, you said it's a kids thing anyway, so.
Nah.
No,
There's
sorry.
adults as well.
Yeah, they run sessions for under fives all the way up to adults. So there's a session essentially for all ages. All of the coaches are qualified by British Wrestling, I believe, is the sporting body. So, yeah.
Can we see the first team wrestling?
I think that has been in the pipeline, with obviously pre-season now. I think it would be good to.
Who would win?
I think. Do you think you smoke everyone in the team?
Wrestling?
Yeah.
No.
Nah.
You're gonna say Toby, innit? That's your boy Toby.
Mario.
I mean Mario and
Mario.
Yeah, no. I think obviously you have weight classes and whatnot, right? And you got some big guys in the first team, so naturally you probably.
There was a big. Oh, no, I'm not even saying.
Back then.
But going back to what we were talking about before, Volta.
Yeah.
Do you think that it could be made into like a league style, or where you can have it like running for? I remember talking about this with Waleed. I think was it yesterday? Yeah. After.
You were talking to him about it yesterday, were you?
Sorry?
You were talking to Waleed about Volta yesterday.
Yeah, just like ideas, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he said something about there possibly doing like maybe like a season style where you can have it running for a certain set amount of time, a couple of games once a week or whatever, and then having it set up like a league style.
So the format and everything's all been kind of sorted out. There was a couple of people brainstorming everything, went through all the rules, the format and everything, and so everything's kind of been sorted. We're just literally waiting for person who volunteered to say that, they put it all together on paper essentially, and then we can get the kind of ball rolling and get it moving forward. So we're just literally waiting for that.
But is that going to be Volta itself? Is it going to be more for as a community thing as it was in
Ramadan? It'll be
Ramadan,
open to everyone. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just as it was in Ramadan, you had a lot of people get involved from outside outside of SC Peterborough. So, yeah.
Who again? Another question. I don't know if you might have already answered it. Who won in Ramadan?
There wasn't really like a overall kind of league table, but there was winners on a week-to-week kind of basis. You obviously had, I think, Eunice FC, who were really good.
They won 2 weeks in a row, no?
Something along those lines. You had Lucas' team, Coach Lucas' team towards the end. They were really good as well.
From the coaches, Bar Zaid, yeah, or just any. Are you Bar Zaid and Eamon? I think are the only first team coaches. The first team players were coaches, right?
I think so, yeah.
From the coaches, if you had to have like a starting 11, who would you have?
So, Bashford getting goal.
I mean,
anyone who wants to be in goal.
Yeah, I saw his keeping in. What was it? The coaches was the under 15s match. I mean, it's not the best, but it'll do.
Let's not talk about that. Still can't
I
get
think
over the referee position.
his distribution was a bit.
Zaid could teach him
suspect.
things, yeah.
But I mean, look, Bash. I'm not sure if you'll know. Like, he was a old school kind of 5-side keeper, and it's very well known that at 5-a-side, the guy was unbelievable.
That's great. And then go on your centre backs.
Start to think.
Come on.
Let's come back to this next week.
Wow. Come on, you're going to leave him hanging now.
There are some good bowlers there in the coaching.
So what opposition would you play?
Centre mid.
I don't know if I'll make the team.
Centre mid.
If you could choose a position, are you going to stick to left back or are you going to come into the middle?
I don't know. Well, it depends what the.
So
what
all
the
I
team
know,
is,
all
right?
I know is I'd have Coach Raf as manager because then you know that.
You tell him he's not good enough to get onto the
he's
pitch.
It's his footballing IQ. He's gonna be like Alex Ferguson. He's gonna come back. It's gonna be Fergie time again at FCP. And I'm not a Man United fan. Before you start saying that.
Let's not talk about them.
Now he's joining me.
So, what was the best bit of Volta for you, Arkham?
Ooh, hold on. Oh yeah. I don't know. I think there was a couple of moments. I think definitely the first week where, because it wasn't as busy, there was so much game time and got a lot of moments. I think the best part was just like the flair moments where you had nutmegs, where you just had people doing skills. I remember there was one that was caught on camera. I don't know where it's gone, Zayed nutmegged me. You know, as soon as Zayed put the ball through my legs, I think I dropped on my knees. I think I was just like, no, it right in front of the camera as well. I don't know where that footage has gone. I think that there's some malfunction of the camera or something.
Yeah, we're still waiting a lot of footage from Volta to come out. So Jamal, if you're listening, you know, this exact same comment we made last week as well.
What?
That there's about 2 weeks worth of footage that he still needs to.
The one I'm really disappointed, Jamal, is the road trip me, Waleed and Mojana on the way back from Leicester.
You know, I forgot about this, but I mean, yeah, that is something that he's.
I mean, fair enough if he's busy. I mean, he is busy, but he's just ground hopping, man. Yesterday I seen him he was at some other game.
He's at Northampton today.
And then
loves football.
Over the next coming weeks, God, he knows that once he becomes FCP coach, he's going to be locked in at Mayfield All Park Stadium, so he's just making the most of it.
On Volta, I've got some stats. I went over these last week. I think you guys probably missed them, so I'll just go through them again. So in total, across the 4 weeks, there was 272 games played. Number of teams, we had 15 different teams. Over 65 different players. The minutes played was 480. Goals scored was 264. And the number of nutmegs was 74.
Wow.
How many times did you get nutmegged up, Cam?
Only by
72 of them, I think.
Only by Zaid, I think.
Who was the MVP?
Ooh, this is a good question. MVP?
You can't say Zaid. I know he's here.
No, I think it was probably Yusuf, to be honest.
That's what Yusuf, definitely one of them. Another one on the Vets team. What's his name? I mentioned him before as well. I forgot his name.
Can you just describe him to us?
I think Tariq, I think his name was. That's
Tariq,
it. Yeah, him. That's another MVP right there. Who else was there as MVPs? I was expecting Safi to be MVP, and then he just took me out. Like, what was the need? They were so unnecessary. A bit immature, if you ask me. That he let me get in his head, but it's all right.
I think he's still going on about it. Like, you know, a whole month later, I think maybe he's in your head and not the other way around.
But I mean, you did ask me to reminisce on Volta, so that's exactly.
Well, we spoke about MVPs, and you switched up and you spoke about Safi.
So who was the MVP? Ballon d'Or winner, MVP.
Ballon d'Or winner, I think it has to be Waleed for his reffing.
Can you?
Yeah, I'll back that.
Player.
You back in?
Player. Yeah.
No, player.
Yeah, that's two.
When did a referee ever win Ballon d'Or?
Huh? There's a first for everything, especially at FC Peterborough. So please.
Now, what player, please?
This guy, man.
Okay, Coach Zami, is your team season finished?
No, so yes, so from under 7s is finished. However, we have got a couple of tournaments lined up. Wednesday we are at the home of Posh at the Dome. We've got a tournament then. For the under 14s, we've got 2 games left. We had a game today. I beat the opposition 3-0. We lost to them 2-0 a couple of weeks ago, but today my boys turned up. 10 out of 10 performance from every single one of them.
What will be the highlight of your season for your under 7s?
For my under 7s, honestly, it's the way they've developed from the start of the season, where they were a little bit shy, nervy, afraid to take plays on. It was just get the ball, kick it, don't know where. However, over the last couple of games of the season, all of them have got the confidence to take on players, to dribble, to shoot, and as a team, those boys, man.
Can I also add in a memorable moment? So I can't remember I think again we spoke about this last night. I can't remember if you had gone by then or not, but remember that game we played? Yeah, you were there. There was a game we played. Yeah. So basically, we were trying to focus on basically playing out the back and just nice little link-up play, and from goal kicks. And in the first, I think it was halves in. It wasn't quarters that game. Yeah. In that first half, we went down something like 3-0 or 3-1, something like that. And basically all that was happening, the opposition was just all in our half. And the minute we got a ball, there was no time, no space, and just compressing us and winning the ball and having a shot. And this was a tactical masterclass, I'd say.
It was sometimes, okay, we do focus on confidence on the ball, playing out, dribbling. Sometimes when you come up against opposition which don't give you that time on the ball for our under 7s to be able to adapt and switch. So I may have told one of my players to stand near the opposition goalkeeper and...
Nah, that's not... No, I didn't say that. I said to him, I go, just stand behind their last defender. Because obviously there's no offsides for them. And if their last defender is already in our half, it doesn't matter if you're on the halfway line. So as soon as you've got it, you just head up. Well, I can't remember who was playing out the back that game. But yeah, and then that's it. I think we ended up winning that game. I think it was 5-4, 4-3, something like that. But all I remember, we ended up winning. That's it. Tactical masterclass right there.
I think I'm a little bit... thanks for telling everyone I like to play a hoof, a long ball.
That's not... There's a difference between a long ball...
Let me get this straight. So what you guys have just told me that with the under 7s, you guys prioritise winning.
No, it's about development. But it's
developing.
Okay.
Because I'm sure if head coach Ibi is listening right now, he's not going to be very happy.
Why would he not be happy that we're teaching our kids different, not just one way of football? You got to teach them that sometimes if one thing isn't working, are you going to make them keep doing that where they just get out and get hammered? It's not like we start playing bad football. Zami said long ball. Long ball, no. Long ball, as Waleed differentiated.
Nah, long ball is probably the wrong... It was more...
There's a difference, and I'm sure you'll agree, there's a difference between a long ball and a ball over the top. A long ball is where you just hit it long with no intention of finding a player. I specifically said, get your head up and find... I think it was Arham playing up top that game, yeah?
I'm old, my man.
Bro, this guy, you're not old, man, but... Yeah, I think it was Arham playing up top that game, and it was Ibrahim or Ali at the back. And we said, get your head up and find him. And that's exactly what they did. Playing it longer would be... They'd get it and just clear it. This isn't...
So we're working on...
this isn't
that week.
I don't know. It's quite controversial what you're saying right now.
It can be controversial, but I don't care. Controversy sells, man. It's fine.
It is about development. So we are, for the academy, all about development up until sort of, I'd say, when we move to 11-a-side with the under 13s. But sometimes you have to look at the kids. The kids are happier when they're scoring goals with that happy feeling. So sometimes even if you are losing, giving that player the opportunity to play a striker, get a goal, even if you sort of losing 5.
As I said, tactical masterclass. And when there's a tactical masterclass, there's also going to be development, because why? You're playing them in different positions, moving them about, they're learning how to adapt, building versatility. Now come at me. What you got to say now?
That was the last game he coached, by the way.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, to be fair.
Thank you very much, Syed. You just shot yourself in the foot right there. I don't know why you said that.
No, but yeah, I think we should definitely move on swiftly.
Yeah, now that Zaid has been proven wrong.
With your under 14s.
Yep, so now 2 games left of the season. I'm confident if we win those 2 games, we've got a strong chance of finishing second. It's our first season in Div 2, so to finish second would be a proud moment.
And I think Division 1's the top division, right? So yeah, no, that is really, really good. What would be the highlight of the under 14 season so far for you?
I already know what he's going to say. Ariane's going 3 in a row.
I did ask Coach Zami, so
okay, thank
please
you. Just, he's gonna have it out for me now that I proved him wrong when he tried to come at me.
Honestly, I think we'll have to take this conversation off air.
The highlight, actually, I'm going to use today's game because I keep telling I can't remember anything. Today, just the learning from the previous game. Like I said, we lost 2-0 to this opposition last week, a couple of weeks ago. They've learnt from the way the opposition played. We were a bit more confident to be able to play out from the back. A few of the players were playing in different positions, and they all worked as a team. They fought as a team today. So when one would, for example, lose the ball, would come and support his teammate win it back. They'd all attack together. They'd all defend together. And just seeing how they've developed as the season has gone on. We've had some highs, we've had some lows, but today was a proud moment. 10 out of 10. Any one of them could have been man of the match.
Yeah, and I think that's always one of the most rewarding things as a coach, where maybe they've had a difficult moment or a difficult game against a certain opposition, and then when you get the opportunity to play them again, you see the development or maybe what you've coached them, and they put that into place. So it's always
and not only
really
development of the players, but us as coaches to be able to learn from things that have happened previously, to be able to adapt, because we are still learning as well, different ways to coach, different things to develop on for ourselves as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zami, could you please get your timer ready?
Why?
Are you forgetting the FCP mastermind that Zaid's going to undergo? Are you ready, Zaid?
Mastermind. So this is a problem, guys, because you guys haven't been here for so long. Mastermind finished in season 1.
And Zaid, please come on, man. Don't bother.
Zaid, I think, is waiting for the final season.
I wrote these questions just for you.
You can ask. You can ask anyone. Mastermind finished in season 1.
Where did Arkham finish in season 1?
Not bottom. That's
what
bottom. Thank you very much. Look at you, lot, man. You're trying to come at me today, bro. Who gave all you lot this confidence, man? I come back. Are you forgetting?
Bottom?
Yeah.
Please, man, put some respect on my name.
You missed that as well.
Exactly.
That was actually hilarious. Seeing him in that seat and when you're asking him, he literally crumbled. And that's some more footage.
I should get another go. I'm happy to take these questions.
After today's radio session, it's both of you, man.
Look, we're in season 1.5.
Yep.
Season 2 should be starting soon, and we'll have a new game.
Zaid, I can't lie, it's poor, man. I expected more composure from you. Bottled.
Especially as the captain.
Exactly. What sort of role model are you setting? Like, what example are you setting? You're bottling it from an FCP mastermind.
For someone who finished with 1 point, I don't really think you should.
Again, put some respect on my name. Come on, man. 1 point where? 1 point where?
In mastermind.
No, I didn't.
Was it 2 points?
Yeah, it was 2 points.
Oh, big difference. Man.
Wow, big difference. It was the difference between last and second last.
What's the highlight of the season for you for development?
I'm trying to think now. I think even like the first half, like up until Christmas, because we were a new team coming in. It's not really a highlight, but it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. Where as a new team coming in, most of us were like coming back from like a break from football or whatever, or coming up as our first men's team season. And I think it was good just to see just like so many of us young players. I seen when I was working, one of the football players come, and after they had won the league, and they said the same thing, where that they didn't expect us. In the first game, obviously we got hammered, whatever, but the second game we gave them a really good game, even though we might have lost. It's just good to see that even at men's level, we're still developing, we're still getting better, and there's a couple of players breaking through. So we had Ruben, who's gone up. We've had Kevin, who's played a couple of games. I think yesterday, there was a couple of players again who'd gone up to the reserves and made like not a debut, but like because it's a friendly. And again, big up Josh as well. Josh went 18s. He played a couple of games for development, went to the Resis, and made his first team debut as well. Was it around Christmas again? I want to say.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So I think just that in of itself is a highlight for all of us, and I'm sure as a club it's a highlight where we're moving on, we're getting better, and onwards and upwards again for next season.
Definitely. Have you got your votes in for your players player and?
We've individually sent our votes in, but nothing as of yet has been said.
So I think you got the presentation evening on the 9th of May. I think.
Yeah, 9th of May.
Friday evening.
Green Army are putting their votes as well.
Nice. But guys, it's been a pleasure. It's been good to have you guys back. Thank you for joining me, and thank you to everyone for listening in.